Ever wondered what would James Bond drive if he had to drive an SUV? Well, Aston Martin thought about this and they came up with the DBX, their first ever SUV. Taking the overall package into consideration, the design, the engine, the interior, its performance, comfort and luxury, it seems very interesting to me. But how much interesting is it actually, and how does it stack up amongst its competitors? Why did Aston Martin create an SUV in the first place, and is it even worth the price? And finally, its position in the Indian car market. That's something you're about to find out today, so let's get started. Now, Aston Martin describes the DBX as the relentless adventurer. So this adventurer of theirs that follows the same design principle. When Aston Martin was testing the prototype, it looked quite different from the road-going version, especially the rear. The tail lights were quite simple and different, and there wasn't any hunching just like the one on the production car. And this helped Aston Martin to keep the DBX a secret for a long time. The DBX is a car that has been purpose-built to shine at any terrain. It's not a pseudo SUV or a crossover that just looks like an SUV but doesn't perform any good on off-road. It's an SUV that you can enjoy and break lap climbs on the track, and it's an SUV which can be used on a weekend for you to wander away in the woods. Moreover, it takes a lot of effort for a company to build a car that can do all the things perfectly. And I don't know how Aston Martin has managed to do that with the DBX, but boy oh boy, have they impressed the world with their creation. Aston Martin took versatility to a whole new level with the DBX. Also, when Aston Martin was testing the prototype of the DBX, they were very serious. They gave the prototype versions to some journalists as well, and all of them were really impressed, including me. And one of the other things that was really cool was about the prototype was the camouflage that Aston Martin used. Never have I ever been so impressed by the camouflage on a car, but here we are with the Aston Martin DBX. The DBX would probably never see off-road, but if you do find a need to drive off-road, the DBX can do it very well. Sure, it won't be as capable as a G-Wagon, but it makes for it on the road, which it can't do on off-road. So, let's start with the design. To say the least about the design, it's beautiful. The external beauty of the car is the thing that Aston Martin never fails us to impress with. It has always been the queen of the roads, or should I say, king. Whatever, you get the point. The huge grille in the front with that chrome finish all over it and those DRLs at either side of the grille look sensational. The headlights have the same iconic DB design in them, and they certainly do have a stupendous throw at night. Despite the efforts of Aston Martin to make the DBX a high-performing and luxury SUV, the design approach that they have taken is commendable. There is no aggression in the car and the design is minimalistic. No weird angles or vents like the Lamborghini Urus. The lines of the car flow smoothly, and from every angle it's undeniably an Aston Martin. Only one thing looks quite weird from the side profile, and that is the rear hunched part. It's too much accentuated and certainly ruins the smooth flowing design philosophy of the car. The rest is perfect. Also, the DBX is one of the most beautiful cars on sale according to me. It's an absolute head turner. The design is functional, no fake vents, and everything you see there is for a purpose. Now, Aston Martin is famous for the application of their golden ratio on their sports cars. Well, guess what? They have applied it on the DBX as well, which is an SUV, and I think we can all agree that it has worked out very well. The rims on the DBX contribute in distinguishing the DBX from other super SUVs out there. There are some elements on the exterior of the DBX as well that makes it stand out from others. To name a few, the vents on the hood, the rear spoiler which almost blends into the design like it was already a part of it, and then the rear diffuser, which by the way is functional and not for show-off purposes. Now, talking about the interior of the DBX, it is a part where the driver and the passengers are going to be spending most of their time in. So it must be good, and you will find it very pleasing that Aston Martin has done a wonderful job in blending the luxury and the performance bits on the car. As standard, you get leather all around, heated seats, surround view camera, things like these which you don't get as standard on any other performance SUV. Especially on the Germans, the Alcantara headliner over the driver and the passenger imparts a sense of premiumness. The driving position is exactly spot on. You do get that high seating position which you get on an SUV, and you know that commanding position, and you also do get a hunched down seating which gives the sportiness factor of the car.
Perfectly balanced, this whole thing should be.
Now, coming to my favorite part, the engine and the performance. The DBX has a Mercedes-sourced twin-turbo AMG V8 that puts out 542 horsepower and 700 Nm of torque, which is good for taking the DBX from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.5 seconds. To give you some context, a BMW competition does 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.1 seconds and has a low top speed. Moreover, it's a raw sports car and this is an SUV. This is just to give you an idea of how greatly Aston Martin has engineered the DBX. The acceleration is already in the high sports car range, and because the DBX is an SUV, it certainly stands as a supercar among its SUV brothers. Now the DBX doesn't come with an official launch control, so you do it the normal way. Put your feet on the brake, press the accelerator, and the SUV launches. Now the thing that surprised me the most was that the DBX is much faster than what Aston Martin claims. In one of the acceleration tests, the DBX did 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.1 seconds and achieved speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour in just under 10 seconds. Now that's how fast the DBX really is. The DBX has a wheelbase of 3060 mm. The best thing about it is that it's perfectly balanced. If the wheelbase was too long, then the car wouldn't have a good acceleration and it wouldn't handle very good around the corners. And if the wheelbase was very short, then the car would have been very unstable at corners and wouldn't have a good top speed. Another part where Aston Martin has managed to find a perfect balance is the weight distribution. The weight distribution stands at 54% in the front and 46% towards the rear. It isn't a 50-50 perfect distribution, but that's because most of the weight in the DBX is concentrated in the front. When you want to go off-road, there are different modes that you can drive your DBX in. When off-road, you can go in Terrain and Terrain Plus. And if you want to drive it like a sports car, you can go in Sport and Sport Plus. And when you want to drive it comfortably on the road, enjoying the view, then you can go into the GT mode and you can individually configure the suspension, the steering, the drive and the exhaust system. So yeah, lots of configurations to choose from. And when you have a car that is this fast, you need to have good brakes. The DBX has 410mm disc at the front and 390mm disc at the back. And trust me, they stop the car so fast it almost feels like the car has hit a wall. The twin exhausts at the back of the car are huge in size and they do sound good. Now the DBX, like most of the performance cars nowadays, has a soft limiter which prevents it from unleashing its fury right from 0 RPM. The boot space is good enough for you to stack enough luggage for a weekend trip. So, what is the conclusion? Well, the Aston Martin DBX is a great SUV. There is no doubt about it. In this race for making luxury performance SUVs, Aston Martin has surely won the luxury part. The design is great, it looks beautiful and it performs great as well, both on the road and off the road. People looking for a car that's a perfect blend between performance and luxury should look no further than the DBX. Now recently, DBX has also been launched in the Indian car market. 11 DBXs have been allotted for us. And the number might seem small, and it is for sure, but when you consider the ex-showroom price of the DBX, which happens to be 3.82 crores ex-showroom Delhi, only few lucky folks have the money to actually buy it. So we shouldn't worry about the numbers. As compared to the other super SUVs in India, it will be super exclusive, and that's something guaranteed. The purpose of Aston Martin behind making the DBX was simple. Their halo projects like the Valkyrie and the Valhalla were falling short of funding. So they created the DBX so as to make enough sales to fund their Halo projects. It's not just an SUV or a normal product for Aston Martin. It's a ray of hope for them to make our dream cars come to the roads. All I can wish Aston Martin is best of luck, and I trust they will be able to bring our dream cars to the road. So thank you for giving this a watch till the end. I trust you like this one. If you did, then please do share it with your friends and do consider subscribing to MotorDrift for more such content in the future. Also, join in the MotorDrift community by clicking the links in the description below. I would love to have you as a part of it. Till then, ciao.